Hello all, this is Jillian Downs. Today I will share a couple steps that I use to draw noses. It will be very important for the future, especially if you plan to do any paintings, to understand the full working of how to draw a nose. To understand how to draw a nose, first we need to understand the inside of the nose. So these are some photos I pulled from online, and I thought they were really helpful because they show you the graph of how it works on the inside. It's very important to note these things because it will help us determine where we need to use shading versus a hard line, which will overall help you depict the nose realistically. This is the way I usually see students starting out drawing noses. It works really well for animation or cartoon to draw them this way, but it's not realistic because the bone structure that runs up the center of your nose, you actually wouldn't see such a hard line there usually. You'll just have shading. So instead, what I propose is we start with the nostrils first, and then we're going to do the skin flaps around the nose. Obviously, each of these things are going to be different depending on the structure of your face or whatever face you're depicting, but it's good to start off with those two because that's going to get the spacing of the nose accurate. And then as you can see, you can draw in shadows to further round out the shape of the nose once you have those initial lines in. As you can probably tell, the nose requires a lot more shading than it does any kind of line work. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, now it's your turn. I'm going to put a couple steps up on the screen that you can follow. Feel free to, of course, pause the video and do it in your own pace. So those were the couple of steps that I use every time to draw noses. Something I want to point out though is, again, everybody's nose is very different, and you're really going to want to study your model or reference photo very carefully. Even the slightest tilt or change of, your pencil lines is going to really change whether or not it looks like them, especially around the nostrils and how far apart they are. And how big they are can, depict the perspective of how you're looking at the person. And then also the skin flabs around the nostrils. Sometimes people's are very straight up and down, and sometimes they curve really strongly. So you really want to look at those things. Also, the top of people's noses, close to the eyes, sometimes there's very little line work in there. There's very little shading, because maybe they have more of a kind of like triangular shaped nose like I'm drawing now. And so those things are really going to make a huge difference on how you depict each person a little differently. So it's pretty cool. I wanted to show you a couple examples of portraits I've made. These are actually some friends and then a self-portrait of me that I made for a class. So I've had quite a lot of experience drawing noses so far, and especially when I go to paint, I remember, learning all these things and how tricky it is at first. So I hope this video has helped you, and I hope you enjoy drawing your own noses and people's faces, and have a wonderful day.